Last round of the year. Welcome to Coach's Corner. My name is Jason Devensenis, and this week I'm back with the senior coach, Peter German. Germo, we got the win last week in the ETU Cup against Frankston. First win in a few weeks.
A few weeks.
Just a few. How did you think the boys played?
Well, look, we've come off a pretty torrid 2 months, really, if you think about it. We've played some really good teams that are, most of them are going to participate in the finals. Even last week where we played Sandringham, they've had another good win on the weekend, so they look like probably playing in the finals as well. So from our point of view, last weekend was a result that we sort of desperately wanted. For the fact we have played some really good footy, like even against Sandy, it was disappointing our first half, but the second half we were fantastic and outscored them and outplayed Sandringham. So on the weekend, was it our best game for the year? Probably wasn't, but in terms of endeavour and just a real strong resolve to play 4 quarters of football, strong hard footy was pleasing. So that we put ourselves in a good position at 3/4 time, and to be able to go on with it. And probably the disappointing thing was we probably wasted about 4 or 5 really good opportunities late to probably have a really good 5-6 goal win. So that was great, and we look forward to this week. Again, to see if we can finish off the season on a real positive note.
And we did, I guess, sort of run out the quarter reasonably well in the last quarter, which hasn't always been our strong point this year. But you said we had a couple, I guess, torrid 2 months. But how have you seen the season as a whole?
Well, I wouldn't say torrid. I would say a lot of our games were. The thing was we didn't win the games, but what we did was we played really good, strong, hard footy for a lot of those games. Werribee, Williamstown, a lot of the games that that we didn't win, but we actually played really well. So. I look at the season as probably gone to depends on whose expectation. A lot of people said that we probably wouldn't win a game of football this year, and past history will say that when a team goes down alone in their first season, they really struggle. So look, if you look at the ladder, you'll say that we haven't had a great season, but I would say that we've had a really productive season. I think that a lot of the boys have got a lot of experience. They've gained a lot of knowledge in terms of what VFL football demands, and I think that can only benefit certainly those individuals and us going forward.
Yeah, certainly like a lot of guys, who have stepped up. So guys like Geordie Rogers, who I think had some 26 possessions on the weekend in just his second VFL game. He's just come from just playing good footy in development. Have you seen his progress just coming up through development and just playing better each week?
Yeah, look, you look at Geordie's come from Duda Stars under 18s pretty much last year, so you would think that the development that he's had up until this year would be very minimal, and for him to be able to develop in and play senior football over the last couple of weeks and get 26 possessions on the weekend just shows that he's a very smart player, and he's really adapting well to VFL football. But he knows that that there's a long way to go for him to become a regular senior player next year and years to come. So I like him, but as I say, only 18-year-old. Tangy's just he's only 17, and we look at the ages of a lot of the boys. Cody's only 18 or so, and Blairy 18, Errol McConnell 18. So we've got a lot of players who have gained some really valuable experience. You look at Dion Hill. Again, I thought was one of our better players on the day, and again his background from East Keilor shows that there's so much upside for these guys with another pre-season under their belt. It's really exciting, I think, for Coburg Footy Club.
It is. It's exciting times, I suppose, with these young guys coming through, and so they're certainly also coming through the development. We've got some of our boys here. Is there anyone who you particularly wanted to touch on?
Look, I take my hat off to Fab. He's started the year and he's gone through the season, and we've tried to teach him, I guess I want to play a certain brand of football, and that player needs to be able to execute that on a consistent and regular basis. And And Fab's, for the fact that he's just been able to stick with it and keep going each week, and on the weekend played really well. And if there's an opportunity this week, a bit like Liam Brandt, that probably 4 weeks ago I wouldn't have thought he would have played, but just stuck at it and persisted and got his opportunity. And I see sort of Fab maybe in that mould as well. And we've got to look at probably playing at 23rd this week. Joel doesn't fit the criteria this week as he's been used for his 3 games, so we've got to use someone as our 23rd. So that'll be interesting in terms of how we look at that at match committee tonight. But Clarkey got his opportunity this week again with the same sort of thing as Fab, just stuck at it, and Liam. And I thought his second half on the weekend was really pleasing. I think maybe he just, he's again starting to understand and come to terms with what I, the match committee are really looking for from players, just the way we want them to play Coburg football. And I think Matthew did it. I think he may have, hopefully he can continue that this week.
And this week we're up against Casey, which is a Sunday game. It's at 2 o'clock at Casey Field's last game for the year. Last time we played them back in round 7, we won in the seniors and the development. What can we take from that into this week?
Oh, look, that's a long time ago, so I'd like to think we're actually playing better football than what we were, whenever it was, around 5 or 6 or 7, around that time. So, we've been able to stick with a pretty good, list that's been able to play a fair bit of football together now, like over the year, and there's still a long way to go in terms of being able to build a real united football team. But, I would think that, Casey, they've finished on top of the ladder or been in the top 4 for the last 5 or 6 years. And you look at their squad, they were pretty much a goal in front of Footscray at half time last week. So we don't expect that because of what happened last time or where they're sitting on the ladder, it's going to be an easy game. So it'll be, from our point of view, it'll be battle stations again in terms of being able to just work hard around the contested ball stoppages, and they're very good at that. Geordie McKenzie and a few players that I've had a bit to do with, and Leesy as well, over the last 5 or 6 years. So we know that they're going to be a pretty tough side this week, especially out of Casey. If it's windy, then it becomes a different ball game again. So whoever can adapt to that type of conditions, it's going to probably get the advantage.
Thanks very much, Peter. That's been Coach's Corner.
Good on you, Jace.
Thank you.